another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Sunday afternoon, wherever you are, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure you give the video a like, a thumbs up, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Hey there, Eden, glad to have you here. I almost didn't come on here at this time. Good afternoon, Keveron, glad to have you here because I normally don't come on here at this time on a Sunday, but we had church this morning, and then we had a birthday party, and then tonight the men at church are going out to eat, and I have no idea what time I'll be back home, and I might be really tired when I get back home, so I thought, you know what, I better go ahead and do it now, even though it's kind of early compared to my normal time. I'd rather go ahead and do one now than either not do one at all or do one late tonight, or be on here so full I can't walk. Because after church, we went out to eat, and I ate, and then the birthday party, I ate, and tonight when us men go out to eat, I'm going to eat. So I'm going to eat 3 meals in about 6 hours, but I love to eat. I like 3 kinds of food. That's hot, warm, and cold. But today I want to talk about yesterday's college basketball games, and tomorrow we'll talk about today's. By the time the final game of the night ends tonight, we'll be down to the Sweet 16. Half of the Sweet 16 was determined yesterday. These 8 teams that I'm fixing to tell you about that won yesterday are one half of the Sweet 16. Purdue defeated McNeese State 76-62. Arkansas beat St. John's 75-66. Michigan defeated Texas A&M 91-79. Texas Tech beat Drake 77-64. Auburn beat Creighton 82-70. BYU, in a game that ended up being a nail-biter, defeated Wisconsin 91-89. Houston defeated Gonzaga 81-76. And Tennessee, in the last game last night, defeated UCLA 67-58. Now, I mentioned this yesterday, but Arkansas defeating St. John's puts them in the Sweet 16. Hey there, Elvana. Glad to have you here. Elvana, I believe that's the first time I've seen your name in the comment section. If it is your first time being here, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Share the video on all social media platforms and give the video a like and a thumbs up. Tell your friends, tell your family. But Arkansas's coaches, John, I call him Calipari. Some people call him Calipari. I don't guess it matters which one you say. But for the better part of a decade, he, according to Kentucky fans, underperformed at Kentucky and could not get past the first or second round. And most Kentucky fans were happy when he decided to leave after last year and go to Arkansas. Hey there, Bola. Glad to have you here, and I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Every day is a good day. No such thing as a bad day. Hey there, Austin. Glad to have you here. So wouldn't it be something if he, according to Kentucky fans, underperforms for pretty much a decade at Kentucky and goes to Arkansas and first year there wins the national championship? Now, I don't think he will, but it would be something to see. Hey there, CC. Glad to have you here. I don't think Arkansas has quite the talent to win the national championship, but it would be something if he goes there after all this time underperforming at Kentucky and then goes to Arkansas and wins the national title in his first year. But I don't think Arkansas is quite good enough Thank you for liking the channel, Bola. I appreciate it. Austin, I have the race watching right now. I mean, recording right now. But I mentioned when the video first started that we had church, and then we went out to eat with the church, and then we had a birthday party for one of the young ladies at church. And then I'm home for about an hour. Then I'm going back out, and the men from the church are going out to eat tonight. So I've pretty much been stuffing my face all day long. Hey there, John. Glad to have you here. So I'm not even going to turn the race on because if I do and I sit down, I'm not going to want to get back up. But I do have it recording, and I will watch it either tonight or tomorrow, depending on what time I get home tonight. If it's too late, I'll watch it tomorrow, but it's definitely recording. And John, if you're referring to Arkansas, you might be correct. They might be in the Elite Eight, and it would be something if they go farther than Kentucky in the tournament, since Kentucky fans were happy that Calipari left. If he goes to Arkansas and now they end up going further in the tournament than Kentucky did. But it may not have been a John Calipari thing. Sometimes, in most situations, as a matter of fact, a lot of older coaches will tell you this. In most situations, depending on the coach and the program, usually after about 10 years, it's just time for a coach to go. No, Austin, that was yesterday. That was the Xfinity race. Today's Cup race is on Fox Sports 1, I believe. But I believe Lou Holtz is one of the coaches that always said after about 10 years, it's time for some new blood, and it may not be anything the coach did wrong or is doing wrong. It's just you've been there so long that after a while, the fans either want you to go because you haven't done enough, or your players are tired of hearing the same old thing all the time because you can only say the same thing in the locker room so many times, and the players get tired of hearing it because they know what you're going to say. So in most situations, most folks will tell you that after about a decade, it's just time for a coach to go. And it may have just been the time for Calipari to leave Kentucky. Not that he was doing anything different, just he'd been there so long, he done realized they weren't going to fire him. He could be one and done every year in the tournament, and they weren't going to fire him, so he had no pressure. So it may have just been time for him to go, and nothing he did wrong. But he went to Arkansas this year, and they started 0-3 or 0-4 in conference play. And it looked like, oh gosh, they're in for a long season. And they ended up finishing, I believe, 8-10 in the conference, but that was good enough to make the tournament. But they started either 0-3 or 0-4 in the conference, and I thought, oh boy, they're bad. But then they were pretty good after that. BYU was leading Wisconsin, I believe, 91-80. Ended up letting Wisconsin trim it down to 91-89, and BYU hung on. And Tennessee this year has the same problem they had last year with a different player. Last year they had a player who I still say his name was pronounced wrong, but his name was Dalton Connect. To me, the K should have been silent, and it should have been pronounced Dalton Necht, but they said it was pronounced Dalton Connect. But he was really the only offensive weapon they had last year. And if Dalton Connect didn't score 30 points, Tennessee wasn't winning because nobody else they had could score more than 9 or 10 points a night. So they had to rely on Dalton Connect or they were done. And sure enough, the game they got put out last year, Dalton Connect had a bad night. Well, this year they're the same team except for it's Chaz Lanier. If Chaz Lanier doesn't score at least 25, they're not winning. So for Tennessee, they have to hope that Chaz Lanier shoots as good as he shot last night for the rest of the tournament, because without him, Tennessee's lucky to hit 45. I mean, he is their whole offense. Every other guy they've got might score 7 or 8 points, maybe 10, but nobody else they have has the ability to score 20-plus points a night except for Chaz Lanier. So that is all the games from yesterday. As I said, tomorrow we'll talk about all the games from today, and we'll talk about the Sweet 16 because it'll be starting on Thursday. All of you that came on here live today, I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, if you're a wrestling fan and you live upstate South Carolina, North Georgia, or Northeast Georgia, I expect to see you Saturday night in Greenville, South Carolina. Eden, come back later on and watch the rest of the video. And thank you for watching. But I expect to see all of you Saturday night in Greenville, South Carolina. We'll be there for a show that is a combination of CMW and PWF. We'll be doing TV tapings every time I ref for them. We do TV tapings. Doors will open at 6 o'clock. Bell time will be 7 o'clock. And it's at the West Greenville Community Center. And the word West is important because Greenville is a large city that has multiple community centers. So make sure that you look for the West Greenville Community Center. Hey there, Eden. You weren't even gone a minute. So glad you are back. So all of you in North Georgia, Northeast Georgia, or the upstate of South Carolina, even North Carolina, it's not that far of a drive from the mountains of North Carolina to Greenville, South Carolina, and it will be worth your trip. So West Greenville Community Center, Saturday night for some television tapings for CMW and PWF. And CMW, in case you're wondering, stands for Carolina Main Event Wrestling, and PWF stands for Palmetto Wrestling Federation. Be there Saturday night. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Bell time will be 7 o'clock. And you'll see not only me, but also the Alpha Boss will be there as well. If you don't know who the Alpha Boss is, ask me sometime, and I will be more than happy to tell you who that is. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What do dentists call their x-rays? A toothpick. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. And Jalen, it is going fantastic. Thank you for jumping on here. You're just in time to see me almost sign off for the day. I just talked about college basketball and all the teams that won yesterday, and tomorrow I'll be back on here talking about all the teams that won today, because by the time tomorrow gets here, we'll be down to the Sweet 16. Bye.